Next matter is State versus, did we take care of Tracy Phillips?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
All right. Counsel, that reflects a summons. Does your file reflect a service? Finds Mr. Phillips is not here. 9 o'clock docket, it's 12.
It does, Your Honor. The return on the summons that I have in my file would appear to indicate residential service on a third party, seemingly a roommate, back in June.
All right, I'm going to issue a warrant, not a bench warrant, but a warrant for, as there's already been an attempt to get service. It's been unsuccessful. Perhaps it was successful and blown off, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to set bond at 1,000 cash or surety.
Very good.
All right, guys, buckle up because today's courtroom drama is something you don't want to miss. We're diving straight into the chaotic saga of a sovereign citizen-style defendant, Tracy Lynn Phillips, who completely crashes the courtroom atmosphere in front of Judge Webster. Now listen carefully, because this story didn't start today. It actually began months earlier when Tracy was supposed to appear in court back in September 2024. But guess what? She didn't show up. That's right, a complete no-show. When the court called the case, Tracy Phillips was nowhere to be found. The prosecution explained that a summons had already been served to her residence months earlier, possibly through a roommate. The judge wasn't thrilled about that situation at all. After confirming the failed appearance and the attempted service, Judge Webster made the call. A warrant would be issued to bring Tracy back before the court.
On the record in 2023, TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips, Jared Regier for the state. The defendant, Miss Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Let's see. September 4th, the defendant failed to appear. Miss Phillips, I trust you posted that $1,000 cash or surety bond.
Well, yes, I didn't have a choice.
Right. Well, you could have stayed in jail, but that's not a very good choice. All right. We are showing in count one that you were driving, the state's alleging you were driving without a tag or an expired tag, November 8th of 23. And then that the vehicle not only had an expired tag, but a plate was on there that wasn't assigned to it.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
with
Amended.
court certification, I am showing that an amended information was filed back in June of 2024.
Okay, let me go off of that one then. Is this the case where she was here and there were allegations of identity theft or something? I remember her name associated with that. That case was dismissed, wasn't it?
Your Honor, I would need to review my notes further, but the state's understanding is that is an unrelated matter.
Unrelated. Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Phillips, there is an amended information, as counsel said, that was filed June 12th of 2024. And that, the official charging document that you're on today, alleges in count one that you were on November 8th, 2023 in Butler County operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state while displayed was a license plate or registration decal other than the one assigned. As charged, this is an unclassified misdemeanor and it carries a fine up to $2,500 and a sentence of 30 days to 6 months. Failure to register, count two, was dismissed by the state on June 11, 2024. Then in count three, you're accused of operating that vehicle without insurance or at least being able to provide proof. That is as charged, a B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, there is a $300 fine up to $1,000 and up to 6 months in the county jail. Count four alleges that you apparently moved from the address given when you applied for and received your Kansas driver's license, and you failed to notify the Division of Motor Vehicles of the new address within 10 days after moving. This charge is an unclassified misdemeanor, which typically carries a fine up to $500 and a possible sentence up to 30 days. I don't know what your history is. I don't know if
That should have also been dropped, because I brought that in. I did that over the internet.
I'm sorry, what did you bring in?
I dropped that. Oh, I did that over the internet. My change of address, and had brought that in. The date that was on my actual ticket that the officer gave me, I came in on that date. There was no court date. I brought in that change of address then.
Are you going to want an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, or do you need to apply for counsel?
I can try and hire an attorney.
You think you have the means to do so? Okay. Well, if you don't, please get an application. You might take an application with you in case you don't. Like maybe you get out there and you find out that they're more expensive than you thought or something like that. So while you're here in the courthouse, it doesn't hurt to take a form with you. And if you need a court appointed, get that back to me soon. Don't wait till your next court date.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, the next attorney docket traffic date, Destiny, is that April 16th also?
No, Your Honor, that would be March 17th.
Oh, okay. March 17th. You need to be back here March 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. So March 17th at 9 a.m. with your attorney ready to proceed.
Now here's where things start heating up. Judge Webster decided not to issue a bench warrant immediately, but instead ordered a warrant with a bond set at $1,000 cash. Basically, the message was simple: show up to court or face consequences. Fast forward to January 8th, when Tracy Phillips finally appeared in person before the court. And right from the beginning, the tension was obvious. The judge reminded her that she had previously failed to appear, which is never a good look in any courtroom. But that wasn't even the main issue. The charges themselves involved multiple traffic violations, including driving with an expired tag, displaying a license plate that didn't belong to the vehicle, driving without insurance, and failing to update her address with the Department of Motor Vehicles. Each of these charges carried fines and potential jail time.
Next one up is Tracy Phillips. She's pro se.
Okay. We are on the record in 23 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. Defendant Tracy Phillips appears in person and pro se. Miss Phillips, this is, of course, not your first appearance. That was back September 4th. And you failed to appear at that hearing. Then you were here January 8th, and you wanted to hire an attorney. You were informed if you were able to hire, you needed to fill out an application, which apparently you did not do.
Not for a public defender, no.
So how do you want to proceed on these 4 traffic charges: driving without tag, driving without tag displayed, driving without insurance, and driving without changing your address or phone or the...
Yeah, I changed my address. I wasn't driving this vehicle. I mean, I drive a company truck.
All right, so you're pleading not guilty. You want this set
Yes,
for
ma'am.
trial?
Yes, I do.
And are you going to have an attorney represent you?
I'm going to try to. I'm trying to find an attorney.
Okay, but you don't want to apply for court appointed, is that right?
No, I don't. Last one threw me under the bus. I prefer not to do that.
Okay, we're going to go to trial at 1:30 on, what's your next trial date, Jen?
May 14th.
May 14th at 1:30. You must be back here. You can either be in person or by Zoom, May 13th or May 14th at 1:30.
Okay.
But with or without counsel, we're going to take this to trial because...
Not a problem.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. You're excused at this time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, guys, now the judge carefully explained every single charge to Tracy Phillips so there would be absolutely no confusion. The court laid out the penalties clearly, fines that could reach thousands of dollars and possible jail time depending on the outcome of the case. But instead of simply acknowledging the situation, Tracy immediately began pushing back. She insisted that she had already submitted a change of address form online and claimed the issue should have been resolved long ago. The judge listened but remained firm, explaining that the court records didn't reflect that update. Eventually, the conversation shifted to legal representation. The judge asked Tracy whether she wanted to hire an attorney or apply for a public defender. Tracy claimed she would try to hire her own lawyer. The court then scheduled the next hearing for March 17th, giving her plenty of time to get legal representation.
Again with Tracy Phillips. She is a pro se defendant in court security. Now, Ms. Phillips, you're charged, we're not on the record yet, but Ms. Phillips, you're charged with a tag violation, another form of tag violation,
What?
no liability insurance, and not changing your address. We are set for trial. Are you wanting to have a trial on that, Ms. Phillips, or do you want to try to talk to the county attorney and come to a resolution? What's your plan on this, since you're representing yourself?
I'm sorry, I just assume be done with it. I mean, I can talk to the county attorney. I don't have an issue with that as well. I guess I'm not understanding why you don't have my change of address.
Well,
That
I
was
don't
done
get
over the internet.
that. I don't
Okay.
get that. It goes to Topeka Department of Revenue. It's for your
Well, it
driver's
was-
license.
Yes, well, it was brought in and should have been added to the long time ago when I first got the ticket.
Okay, but it's not like insure. Well, all right, we'll say that. Right now, we are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier appearing for the state. The defendant, Ms. Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Ms. Phillips, I understand that you're wanting to represent yourself on this matter. Is that correct?
Well, I don't have a choice.
Well, you have had the opportunity since November 8th of 23 to either
Yes, ma'am, I
hire an
did.
attorney
To
or
hire an
apply.
attorney. Nobody wants to take my case.
All right. And if you cannot afford an attorney, you've had
It's
the
not
opportunity.
about not affording it.
You've
Because
had
I
the
have to be to hand to an attorney. Nobody wants to take my case to deal with Butler County, is the
All
problem.
right. The alternative, if you could not afford it, you could have applied for court appointed. Am I correctly understanding you to say, though, that you could afford it, you just couldn't find an attorney to take the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. And so you're going to represent yourself today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are
Is
we going by common law or admiralty law?
Now here's the twist that makes this story even more chaotic. March 17th arrived, and Tracy Phillips showed up in court again. But guess what she didn't bring with her? That's right, an attorney. When the judge asked how she wanted to proceed on the charges, Tracy appeared ready to argue the case herself. The court listed the charges once again: driving without a tag, displaying an improper plate, driving without insurance, and failing to properly update her address information. Tracy immediately denied parts of the allegations and insisted she wasn't even driving that vehicle, claiming she usually drove a company truck instead. Despite those claims, the judge interpreted her response as a plea of not guilty and scheduled the matter for trial. And the judge made something crystal clear: the trial would proceed with or without an attorney.
Well, we're going by statutory law in the state of Kansas. So
If this is a trial, why is there no jury?
this is not a jury trial because it was set for bench trial. You didn't ask for a
Okay.
jury trial.
I didn't consent to any of this, but
All right. So you want to proceed with trial, or did you want to try to negotiate an outcome with the prosecutor?
I can speak with the prosecutor.
Well, I'm not trying to talk you into it. I'm just trying to afford you the opportunity that an attorney would take if he
Yes, ma'am,
represented
I
you.
understand. I understand.
All right. So what is your wish? Do you want, if he's willing to talk to you and try, if he's willing to consider a negotiation, are you wanting to do that?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Regier, when I ask you this, I don't mean to suggest you have to or that there'll be consequences if you don't. But as I said, I just want to afford the defendant the opportunity, but that's subject to if you want to do it. So do you want to take the time, or are you willing to take the time to visit with her, or do you think there's any productive outcome possible from that?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would request clarification from the court whether it is finding that the defendant is representing herself and has appropriately waived her right to counsel. Based off of prior statements made on the record today, there does appear to be, if the court will pardon the conjecture, a certain degree of ambiguity on that point, and the state would be requesting a formal finding on the record, which would appear to be most procedurally appropriate.
All right. Is the officer still there with you, Ms. Phillips?
I am.
Mhm.
Could you provide her with a written waiver of counsel to read?
I can.
Thank you. Let me know when she has that. It's basically, Ms. Phillips, I believe you'll find it to be a brief written statement for you to look over to make sure that you understand your rights concerning an attorney and that you know them, and that in spite of the rights, you want to waive them and proceed.
Oh, well, I can already tell you, no, I don't want to. I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to waive your right to an attorney?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Then what are you going to do? I don't see an attorney.
No, ma'am, you don't, but that doesn't stop me from speaking with the DA if he is more than willing to.
Well, he doesn't want to do it until he makes sure that you are knowingly waiving your rights.
Because then I'm giving up a right to speak. That makes no sense, Your Honor. Truly.
Independent of whether you
If you
talk to
want-
him
if
or
you-
not.
I'm sorry?
You want it, regardless of whether you talk to him or not, do you want an attorney?
Well, he said himself he didn't want, he wasn't willing to until I signed this waiver,
That's right,
waiving my right.
because
He didn't want to speak to me until then.
if you're going to go out and get an attorney, he has to ethically go through the attorney. And that's why he is following his conscience on the ethical issue
Okay.
and his obligations.
This whole thing is an ethical issue, ma'am. See,
You're muted. Deputy, why is she muted?
That was me. I just explained to her what this waiver meant, so that the attorney could talk to her.
All right. Well, be careful giving her legal advice. I think it could.
it wasn't. It was very simple.
I just tell her
It
about the
was
form.
layman's terms.
Okay.
You need me to sign this?
Yes, put your name there and sign it there for me.
Only if you believe
Do I
you
need to-
understand. Ms.
Yeah,
Phillips?
I understand. Do I need to sign it in my straw man name or my birth name?
Well,
Real.
your legal name.
Well, because that's two separate things.
Your legal name is separate from what?
The straw man that the government has created, which is what's on my driver's license.
Alright guys, this is where the courtroom drama really kicks into high gear. On the day of the trial, Tracy Phillips walked in representing herself, what courts call appearing pro se. Before things officially started, the judge asked whether she wanted to resolve the case by speaking with the prosecutor or go straight to trial. Tracy seemed confused but eventually said she'd be willing to talk. However, there was one important problem. The prosecutor needed confirmation that Tracy had officially waived her right to an attorney before having any negotiations with her directly. That's a standard legal safeguard. So the judge asked court staff to hand Tracy a written waiver form explaining her right to counsel. The judge carefully explained that signing the document meant she understood her rights and was choosing to represent herself voluntarily.
That's not the name your parents gave you that's on your driver's license?
No, that's not grammatically correct. That is not my given name on my driver's license.
All right. What name did your parents give you?
Tracy Lynn Phillips.
All right, and that's on your birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's not the name on your
The
driver's
one the
license?
government created.
That's not the name on your driver's license? Tracy Lynn Phillips
No,
is not
it's
the name?
not. It's not the same one.
All right, what's the name on your driver's license?
Tracy Phillips.
Just Tracy Phillips? They took off
That
the
isn't, the
Lynn?
one on the driver's license is not grammarly correct, ma'am.
All right, how is it not correct?
It's all in capitals.
Oh,
That's
I
not
see.
grammarly correct.
I see. Okay, I see where we're going. All right,
So I need to know, ma'am, am I supposed to put the one that's in all capitals? That's on my driver's license
I want
on here?
you-
And then
I want
sign
you-
it
Miss,
as the entity to Tracy Lynn
I'm about ready
Phillips?
to run out of my patience with you. You need to settle
Okay.
down.
I'm
and
just
be-
asking a question. I'm
You're-
just asking a
you're
question.
No, you're not. You're not just
I'm not
asking a
disrupting
question.
anything. I simply asked a question.
Look, Miss Phillips, you see that officer sitting next to you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you know I have the authority to tell him to put you into custody until you're ready to cooperate? Now, I don't want to do that, but you're being
I don't-
belligerent and difficult in this court's opinion.
I don't understand what you're wanting from me. I'm really not being difficult.
All
I
right,
simply
I want
asked-
you to
I
stop
simply asked-
talking for a moment, and I want you to tell me, did you read the form in front of you?
Yes, ma'am, I did read the form.
And you signed the form? No, you haven't signed it because you don't know what
I
name
have
to
it
use.
because I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to, what name am I supposed to add the
want
one
you
that's in
to
capitals?
sign. I want
Or
you to
mine.
sign your legal name.
Wait, first name up here. Your name up here.
Deputy, please don't help her. I know you mean well, but I'm afraid that it could become a problem for you and her and me both. All right?
I just showing her to where to write her name in the slot. So
I know, but I don't think you ought to be doing that. Thank you. I know you
There you
mean well. All right. So, do you have any questions about the document you just signed?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right. And you do know that you can hire an attorney? Yes or no?
I understand.
And do you understand if you could not afford an attorney, you could apply and see if one could be appointed? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And knowing that those two facts, you are waiving your right to counsel and representing yourself today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to counsel today on the record, both in writing and in oral fashion. Now, with that being said, Mr. Regier, I'll just open it up to whether or not you want to attempt any kind of negotiation with her, or if you want to proceed with the trial that we have scheduled and the witness that you have subpoenaed and appears today.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this juncture, what I would tell the court is that for purposes of resolving this case short of trial, if the defendant pleads as charged to all charges, the state would be prepared to recommend non-reporting probation. The state does not have anything further to add at this time. The state would further be recommending, in addition to non-reporting probation, underlying sentences, court costs, and fines.
All right, Ms. Phillips. That's all he's going to say to you. Apparently, he's not going to meet with you privately,
That's fine.
but he is saying that he would recommend non-reporting probation if you plead as charged. So how do you want to proceed?
No,
Do you want to,
I'm sorry.
you want to proceed with your trial then?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well.
I
Are there any
don't
opening
agree with that.
statements? You don't agree with his offer?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
I would like to ask the officer if he has video of that day of me driving.
And guys, this is where things start getting truly bizarre. Instead of simply signing the waiver form, Tracy suddenly launched into an argument about legal identity. She began talking about the so-called strawman theory, a common sovereign citizen claim that the government creates a separate legal identity using your name written in capital letters. She insisted that the name on her driver's license was not the same as her real name. The judge, clearly losing patience, tried to keep the conversation focused on reality. The court repeatedly asked Tracy a simple question. What name did her parents give her at birth? Tracy admitted it was Tracy Lynn Phillips, but still insisted the government had altered it. The judge attempted to clarify the issue while warning Tracy that the courtroom would not tolerate endless arguments over fictional legal theories.